Hi, this is Jason from eRacing Academy, and today we're going to talk about Simagic's P-ORP, which is basically a spring set that is optional and is specifically designed for the P1000 and the P1000i pedal sets. Before I dive into any details, the spring pack for the hydraulic set is called P-ORP-H. And basically the difference between the P-ORP and the P-ORP-H is that they contain different adapters and different spacers. So what's in the P-ORP box? So as you can see, there's a lot of things. 2 spring sets of brown, red, yellow, green and blue. And we got 6 of the red, 6 of the blue and 6 of the grey rubber pads, 3 travel restrictors, and we've got 3 spacers. In the box comes a very simple slip that shows you basic configurations on how to assemble the spring set. If you're interested in more complex combinations, please visit the product website. We've been using the P1000 with its standard rubber pads for over a year now, and we've tried every single combination to basically suit our needs in the best possible way. Now that this optional pack has been launched, we thought we'd give it a try and see what we think about it. To keep things simple, we only wanted to try the recommended combinations for a GT3 car, both for the spring sets and the rubber sets, but also in addition, we wanted to create a hybrid combination that would give a similar feeling to a GT3 combination. Before I start talking about my feelings for all, let's say, 3 combinations, I just want to show you how these spring sets are actually assembled into the P1000. So it's actually a very simple procedure. We take the preload off, we make sure it's loose, pull it out. Okay, that's done. Take the cap off. And as you can see, we have a pad combination here. And now what we can do is we can start off with having just a spring combination. So let's choose our hardest ones, brown and green. We need these spacers as well. So according to the diagram, we're supposed to put them in this order, like this. So once we place it like this, we can close the cap like we do. Bit of slack, but we're gonna have to sort that out with the preload. Probably a lot more preload as well than you anticipate. Yeah, we got rid of the preload now. So that's that. What we can do is we can take it out now. And we can do maybe a pad combination. Or keep it like the original. Do this. Some slack as well again. No worries. Get rid of the preload. Again, we're ready. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is that with the regular pad set, apparently you could do well over 27,000 combinations. And with the spring set, now we're just increasing that number. But again, these combinations are going to require a lot of trial and error, because it's up to you to find the best combination to get that best feeling. See, we went a little bit too far, unfortunately. We said there's a bit of spring movement and everything just feels a bit loose, and getting that extra bit of preload, we weren't too fancy. We're too fond of it, let's say. So we actually introduced some 3D printed parts. And with this, we basically wanted to make sure there was no spring moving around, no spring buckling, to actually make the whole system last that little bit longer. And now we have basically 3D printed parts mounted onto the, let's say, combination, and we can again put it in here. It's a tight fit, but that doesn't make any difference because we're basically sorting out the tightness with the preload. So let's find it, slot it in. Again, it works. But to be honest, we went over the top a little bit. You don't have to, design these pieces, print them out on a 3D printer. The original setup does work, but we just wanted to eliminate any spring movement and spring buckling. And now it's time to talk about my driving experience and my feelings whilst driving. So we initially started off with the standard, let's say, configuration, which is all rubber pads. So we have 4 red, 4 blue, so 4 the hardest, and 4 the second hardest, which is again the GT3 combination. And it's obviously a feeling I know because I've been driving like this for a while. But the issue I have with these rubber pads is when you press them initially, there's a bit of resistance loss effectively. So when you press with an X amount of force, or let's say a travel, the amount of force, let's say, kind of decreases. So you kind of like doing a bit of a non-willing trail braking, let's say, which could be an issue, but you have to kind of get used to it, and that's how you basically adjust or modulated your foot. Another issue I had was basically with release. The release of the pedal wasn't quick enough. It wasn't sharp enough. It was actually never to the standard I wanted, but you kind of get used to driving around it. The second combination we tried was the hardest spring, the brown spring, and the second hardest pads, which were the blue pads, as you can see. So you got a spring here and 4 blue pads. The feeling was better compared just to rubber pads. The return speed and the return, let's say, strength was easier to modulate. And the thing I liked more with this is because I did a lot of interchanging, I switched from basically one configuration to another. With just the rubber pads, I felt that the pedal actually got longer. So with the same amount of force, the travel of the pedal was longer, and it kind of took a little time to understand with regards to how much force I have to put, because the amount of force changes, obviously the amount of travel changes. So you kind of, there's two variables that are changing, and it kind of took me some time to actually get used to it. But with this, because the travel was less and the return speed or the return, let's say, modulation was easier, I actually felt more comfortable and more consistent with this configuration. The third combination we tried was basically the spring combination. So we have brown and green. Green is a second hardest spring here. And again, it's a GT3 combination. What I liked about this is it was stiff. The travel was less. I felt more control with regard to how much pressure I was actually inputting into the pedal. Obviously, because there's less travel, sometimes it can throw you off to how much you're actually pressing, because some people do want that kind of travel distance to understand how much they're pressing. But obviously, due to my single COT career, I was actually quite happy with the stiffness and the amount of travel, let's say, with this combination. The return speed was good, the return modulation was good, and honestly, having a spring or any sort of spring did really help my return speed, or the return speed of the pedal, which meant it was actually easier to modulate and trail brake. I would recommend sticking to spring sets that are only one stiffer or one softer than each other, because I actually tried the brown and red combination, and red is the medium, let's say, stiffness spring. It's third on the list. And when I was pressing the pedal, I could feel the red one compressing completely until I actually started compressing the brown, and that kind of two stiffness or double stiffness pedal feeling wasn't too nice for me, honestly. And finally, we tried a spring and 3 travel regulator combination, and obviously this was very stiff. The pedal travel length was very little. You had to put a lot of force into it to actually, have some sort of braking. Did I dislike it? No, actually. I mean, yes, it's very stiff, and there's hardly any travel compared to the other combinations. But this is actually a good thing in one way, because you're not, worried about the pedal travel. You can actually fully focus on the amount of force you put into the pedal, which can make your pedal performance consistent. But honestly, you can probably drive with this combination for, let's say, 20 minutes, but not an endurance race. And now you're probably asking me which one was my favorite combination. Honestly, I think I like the dual spring combination the best. The amount of pressure you had to put in was relatively good. It was controllable. It didn't really wear me out, honestly. But if I were to do a endurance race with long stints, I actually may prefer the spring pad combination. Because as you know, driving, let's say, 2 or 3 hour stints, you constantly have to brake, control, modulate your braking. It can get tiring, and for that reason, sometimes you actually need or would prefer a softer combination. Just a heads up, we would highly recommend you calibrating your pedal set every time you change a particular combination, because every combination stiffness and travel is going to be different, so I highly recommend you calibrate it. Before you start going through 20,000 different combinations, you probably do have an idea of what kind of pedal feeling you like, and this is pretty much, parallel with the car you drive also. If you're driving single-seaters, it's going to be on the stiffer side. If you're driving sports cars, it's going to be on the softer side. And you know best what kind of braking technique you prefer. Do you like carrying your braking into the corner, trail braking all the way, or are you a straight line braker? Putting all these parameters into the equation, it's up to you to decide which combination suits your needs most. So our recommendation would be find a sweet spot, meaning find a combination that you like and work around it. Another advice we'd like to give is don't try a combination for just a lap or two. Give yourself at least, 5, 6, maybe even 10 laps, because you'll be surprised how you start adapting your driving style according to how your brake pedal feels. Once you find that sweet spot, just work on it and try getting better. And that statement basically concludes our P-ORP review. If you've liked this video, please press that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the eRacing Academy YouTube channel, please do subscribe, and I guess we'll see you in the next videos. Take care, bye-bye.